Marvel Studios, Wandavision on Disney Plus. That is what we are going to be talking about today.
Spoiler free.
This is going to be your spoiler free. This is the quick take video. We're just going to get in, tell you a little bit about it, let you know what you're watching, and give you some general impressions. If you want to hear the in-depth conversation and discussion about WandaVision, because I have a feeling that some of my co-hosts here have some things to say, make sure you tune in to the podcast that you can find on a variety of services.
Tell them, where can they find those?
They can find it just about everywhere. But if you needed specific locations, you could find it at Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, Breaker, Overcast, Pocket Cast, Radio Public, and of course, Anchor FM.
Ooh,
we
everywhere.
All you have to do is search Grown A Geeks. And hey, you know what? We're going to load it up to YouTube also so you can see the greatness that is us. We are Grown A Geeks. We thank you for joining us. We are here to talk about WandaVision. Yes, that is a thing. That is a show that is coming on.
Is it a show, really?
It is. You know what? Let's see. We have to really decide what is considered spoiler. You know what? I'm going to say this because it's not really a spoiler. Wanda Maximoff has some very, very, very unique abilities. And yes. I believe this show is going to explore a lot more of what the Scarlet Witch can do. WandaVision is a 2020 sitcom on Disney Plus. It's got 2021. You are correct. That is literally the first time this year I've made that mistake. I've done good so far all year.
And you made it with us.
17 days.
I feel so special.
I wanted to include you all in my
mistake.
Pop. You know what I'm saying? Like I was drinking and my drink is empty. But moving on.
You just remembered.
There it is.
There it is. It's empty. Okay. But Rotten Tomatoes actually has a 97% on Rotten Tomatoes for WandaVision.
That's a lie. That's a lie. That's a lie. That's a lie.
Quite interesting. Now, the tomato meter is 97. The average audience score is 81%. So
that's a lie.
As always,
that audience score should be reversed.
Keep this in mind. The
79.
reviewers got access to 3 episodes instead of 2.
Okay. See that, and that could. Now, this is coming on. They actually premiered episodes 1 and 2 when they did the premiere, January 15th. That was on a Friday. So this past Friday, actually, got some really good stuff from the trailers, and just from what I've
trailers lie,
but then there's
there's
other pieces to it. You know what I'm saying? You can look at the cast and crew. You can see different stuff from there. You can make a bunch of different predictions based on that type of stuff. But it's always how they're going to pull off what they do. For those of you who are not familiar with the show, it starts off showing something that looks like a 1950s or a 1960s sitcom, right down to being in black and white.
Dick Van Dyke style.
Van Dyke
I love
style.
Lucy and Bewitched had a love child.
Right, and it is very reminiscent of Dick Van Dyke specifically and Bewitched. Episode 2, I think, had a little bit more Bewitched elements, right down to like the opening sequence was animated, that type of thing. So I mean, there's a ton of like, not really spoilers, but just like some Easter eggs you can find throughout. I'm just going to say, overall, I enjoy what I saw. It was very reminiscent, having grown up watching some of those shows. My mom used to watch I Dream of Jeannie, Bewitched, and, there was, I don't know, I don't recall the Dick Van Dyke Show. I mean, I know the show, but
I do.
I Love Lucy. But see, you're
Mary Tyler Moore.
Okay, now I remember Mary Tyler Moore with the mop at the end and all that. I remember
Petticoat Junction. I mean, we can go back.
So I mean, I can go through most of them. I think you can go through 1 or 2 more than me, just because there was a difference of what I might have been watching at the time. And all in all, I'm familiar with that style. Like My Three Sons and that type of
Yep.
thing, like some of that Nick at Night humor, if you will. Well, see, I was trying to
Yes,
bring you
Brent, we
in,
know
Brent,
the
with
baby.
Nick at Night. If you've ever seen the black and white shows that came on Nick at Night, but a lot of those shows, it had that reminiscent feeling right down to like the background audience laugh track, where it's kind of like recorded in front of a live studio audience, and you hear the laughter to let you know there was a joke, that type of thing. All in all, I like what they showed me, and I like what they set up for future episodes. There was some stuff, and of course, if you try to make speculations from the trailers, along with what you saw in the 2 episodes, it gives you a good feeling of what could be. I'm curious to see what they actually do. I feel like the 81 audience score, I feel like that's fair for me. It wasn't the greatest show. I don't feel like I was shown so much to give me anything other than what they were already capable of. This is Wanda. This is Vision living in a suburban married life, being husband and wife, which is kind of like what you would have expected right at around the time of like Infinity War. You know what I'm saying? Where like they've run off after the events of Civil War and now they're out disappeared, and then, we see Vision is trying to look human, and you get all that bit from the movie. So I just feel like this is kind of that imagery that we've seen on screen. So I was okay with it. I'm waiting to see what else they got. But let's do roundtable. Let's get everybody's opinions real quick. Tony, what you got?
Well, I'm not as generous as you are because
You.
Per
I'm saying-
usual.
no, because the
I'm the
premise
guy that
I-
likes
I
everything. I'm
get.
Little
constantly
salt bay
criticized
over
for
there.
So
Little
it's
bitter.
like I can't. I'm right now literally at 50-50. I like it, but I don't. I mean, I really could not get through the second episode just because this style that they chose to use, I don't like it. I
Let me just
understand
say
what they
then,
did.
Let me just say, stay through the episode.
I
If you
know
had
it's-
finished,
I
it would
know
have changed the
it's-
direction.
I know it's going to get better, but the first episode to me, I did not enjoy at all. It was just, to me, honestly, it was just bad. The whole premise and the look, the acting was okay, but it took me back to a time where shows weren't good. They were just, all of them were the same. You had Doogie Howser, we forgot to mention. They all were the same. Fly None. It was all the same type of show. You had
Doogie Howser, not
not
Doogie
Doogie
Howser.
Howser, Doobie Brothers
Oh, okay.
back there. I'm sorry.
I was like, what?
I
No,
was like,
Patrick
yeah.
Harris was not in black and white. Wait a
You can
minute!
see-
Don't do that to
you can see
NPH.
the bitch in
Okay.
Sam's
First-
face like,
First of all, I'm old. I'm old. I get a chance to mess up, so leave me be.
Okay, I get you that.
So it's like when I was thinking of Wanda and Vision, I don't think black and white. I think full on color. I think action in my face, especially with Wanda. That's what I see. So when you took them out of that environment and put them in a home style,
I'm making notes for the
It didn't
for
work
the
for me.
spoiler talk just based on what you're saying. But continue.
that's fine. That's fine. But it that just didn't work for me. I know it's going to get better, so I'm going to finish the second episode just because I know that Marvel is not just going to keep it like this. I know it's going to change. I know it's going to improve. So right now, I'm not sold on it, but that's just me.
All right, David, looking over at you, what you got? Can you say anything right
See?
now?
I'm trying to figure out what he can and cannot say.
He fell asleep.
Can you tell
Fell
us?
asleep.
Do you like it? Let's start with that.
I
Did you like what you saw? Let's go.
no, I did not.
There. Okay.
Well, okay, so I did not like it up until like the last like 2 minutes of the second episode.
Okay.
Is a more apt description of what what I watched.
Was it the old timey comedy stylings?
Yeah, because okay, so it's partly that, and because I wasn't expecting them to like full on like. Okay, so I've only seen like one trailer, like half a trailer actually of this. So I went in like mostly blind. So I'm thinking like they're gonna just go and like just do this for like maybe like the first part of the first episode, or maybe the first episode, and then they'll just move on to something else in the second episode. But they carried it for 2 episodes.
One and a half. But continue.
1.5. You feel what
No,
I'm
I'm
saying.
with you. I'm with you. I get what you're saying.
I feel like that kind of was. They dragged it on a little too long for my taste.
Okay.
So like the first episode, sure, fine, I can get behind that, whatever. The second episode's like, we're still doing this, and my shit.
That's what they're doing. They are
That's
doing
what
that.
we're doing.
So for those of you who are just listening,
First visual gaff of 2021.
David was feeling some kind of way and like knocked his camera down. He's like, "Oh, why did they do
shit.
that?"
Scarlet Witch just hexed his camera.
Damn,
That's all
right.
right.
Not like his
Wanda's
review.
out here like killing me.
It's like,
But
you don't like what I'm doing,
right.
Like, oh, you don't know her name? You will. Take
Right.
that. So,
So I don't know. It just seemed like the focus was just not there for me.
okay.
I wasn't with it. But it pulled me back in the second half of the second episode. So I'm like, okay, some shit is actually about to start happening.
I feel like the last 30 seconds of the first episode justified everything you saw in the first episode. We'll elaborate more. Make sure to tune into the podcast so you know what I'm talking about.
We'll talk about
But
that
okay,
later.
so right now, where are you feeling? Is it okay? You sticking with it?
Right now, I'm going to stick with it now because it's like the first episode and the first half of the second episode didn't grab me, and I was about to drop it, and then they started doing shit. I'm like, okay, all right, cool, all right. So let me give it my 3 episodes, and then we'll see from there.
All right. So,
But
well,
right now,
they got one more episode to hold you.
It's
I'm
got
with you.
one more episode to hold me. Otherwise, it's a
See?
Fair enough.
And see
All right.
what David's saying, that I feel validated just because.
Okay, and I did not tell you that you were right or wrong. This is one of those rare times where I'm like, it is too early for anybody to say that. No, this is why.
right.
So I'm just
Like,
making my little notes.
I will
Brent.
give it the 3rd episode. If it ain't got me by the 3rd episode, it's gone. I can't
Okay,
do it.
Tony, you still got to finish episode 2.
I will
Give it the
finish
3rd.
episode 2.
Brent,
and I
what you
will
got?
finish the 3rd.
For me, it was nice that Marvel actually tried doing something different from what they have traditionally done, going complete left field. But at the same time, I felt some type of way about it because, as David and Tony said, man, if Marvel's name was not thrown up on that property, why the fuck am I watching this? This was some boring shit. I mean, there's Easter eggs aplenty. There's a lot going on.
There it is.
But because it's Marvel, I'm willing to wait it out.
If
Because
Marvel, now,
everyone's
that's the
trying to
question.
ask
That's the
me
question.
like how the show is. They know I tune into this stuff nice and early. I want to like jump on the bandwagon before the train gets out going. Trying to explain what is actually going on, which we'll get into in the spoiler segment of the podcast version of this. It's difficult. So it's hard to say something good, something bad. I'm going to give it at least 2 or 3 more episodes, and hopefully based upon how things are going, it'll get me. So
Okay. Not looking too good for WandaVision. I might be
it's
doing
like the
this.
Avengers. We just
I
keep
might be
shaming
doing
this
this
stuff.
review by myself.
Let me ask you a question since Brent made a point. If Marvel's name was not on this
It wouldn't
particular
exist.
product,
It wouldn't
No,
exist.
if they were not on this product, would you finish the first episode?
Fucking no.
If Marvel's name was not on this, would you continue to watch the first episode?
You can slap any other company's name on there other than Marvel, and I would not watch it.
Sam?
Just Marvel.
Would
If
you?
it had not had Marvel's name on it, most people wouldn't have tuned in to begin with. So, in fairness, I don't like if I sat down to watch the episode, I would have stayed through it. Will, what you got? Did you like it?
Hit me.
What's
Let's go,
up?
boy. Let's go. Let's go.
Hit me.
Remember, this is the spoiler free, so don't go on that rant you do. You can have that in just a moment. Let's get this
Sam,
one
Don't
out
hit the
way.
desk. Just
Get
yet.
your, get
Oh,
your
he
mute-
got he
Hold
got
on, wait.
close. He got
Get your mute
close.
button.
Hold on, boy. Let's
Get that mute button
let's
ready.
see it. Let's see it.
I'll see y'all in the next episode.
Yes, sir.
There it is.
Yes,
All right.
sir.
Well, let me just say, whew, Elizabeth Olsen, Paul Bettany, y'all better come with it, because Grown A Geeks is wow.
So
I'm
it's
not-
like,
Okay,
I'm
so
not
ladies
feeling
and
it.
gentlemen,
It's
y'all need to
4-1.
make sure you stick.
I'm not
Come back
feeling
and
it.
join us and see this spoiler-free. This is the spoiler-free episode. Y'all got to come back for the spoiler episode. I'm gonna re-up. I'm gonna like stop this and start the next one, and we gonna get right into it because
Man.
I gotta know.
have y'all,
We gonna start with Will. I just
gotta
got to
start
get him
with
out.
Will.
the
I
Wait a
gotta
way.
minute.
see it.
Look at Will. He is like
He is so
ready
distra-
to
you know
go,
what?
boy. He's like,
He looks the way he looked when we got ready to do our Avengers review.
oh yes,
Oh, no,
sir.
not that again.
Yes, sir.
I mean, look at his face. He
Look
looks
at
like
him.
he. Will,
Let
do
me
you
tell
have a
y'all.
bottle of water nearby?
if you
Okay, that's all. That's all I want to know.
hey,
So long
if
as
you look at Will, if you look at Will right now, he looks like my dad. Every day he had to come to the school when I got in trouble with Russell. That's what my dad looks like.
let me
Every
act
time.
let me act professional in front of these teachers.
And I
but
knew when
we
I
get
got home,
right.
it ain't even home. It's by the time we get off of school property. It was on.
Okay, so folks, that is I would say that is your WandaVision spoiler-free review, but I don't know. I kind of want y'all to watch it, but maybe you don't need to. Maybe you just need to jump in at episode 3. We'll find out. But episodes 1 and 2 did not seem to hold the geeks. Interesting. So join us for our spoiler review of WandaVision. You should be able to find this video. We're going to hold off, and all spoiler talk does not go live on our Facebook group until Monday at 2 p.m. So you will be able to find that spoiler video, that spoiler conversation, that podcast Monday, 2 p.m. Look for it. That's when it'll drop. We thank you for joining us. We thank you for being here with us. We are Grown A Geeks, and we out of here. Peace.
Holler.
What's that?
Holla.
Holla, holla, holla. Holla, 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 holla.